Hey bag ladies and bag dudes, today I'm going to be talking about decorative zipper pulls, the seam wacker. I'll be sneak previewing my upcoming Cork Club project. I'll be showing Kinder Fabrics by Heather Ross, the Color Essentials book by Amanda Murphy. The demo will be for how to install a twist lock, and there's a great giveaway at the end. I'm Sarah Lawson from Sew Sweetness. Thanks so much for joining me for Sewcial Sunday, my weekly sewing chat. Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining me on this lovely Sunday. I saw lots of you on Facebook and YouTube before the chat. So hi to Lisa. Danny's putting some more up on the screen. Hey Melissa, thanks so much for joining me. And it's so funny, even though we've been doing these live shows for almost a year now, I still get major butterflies in my stomach right before we're ready to go live. So I guess that'll never go away, but with practice, definitely getting better at doing these live shows. So just as a friendly reminder, just about everything that I talk about during Sewcial Sunday are things that I've purchased myself. So these are not things that I'm getting paid to talk to you about, but just cool things that I found that I'd like to share with you. And also as another reminder, everything that I'm planning to talk about, I am linking to in the description. So if you're interested in finding out more about any of the notions, fabrics, books, or projects, just check that link in the description and you can be taken to different websites to find out more information. So my favorite part of the chat, as always, is the notion of the week. And I got these cool decorative zipper pulls. I had one of the decorative zipper pulls on my candy cane pouch over here, and Danny's going to cut to the side view. The great thing about these pulls is that they have a lobster clasp over here. So the pulls will fit on any size zipper, even these smaller number 3 zippers. So I purchased these on Friday from Trina Peterson. Again, the link's in the description if you'd like to be taken to her Etsy shop. And she's got a great selection of dozens and dozens of different pulls. Some are sewing related, like this little sewing machine pull, and others are maybe pop culture related. There's a few Harry Potter ones. This is the 9 3/4. This is my favorite one. I solemnly swear I am up to no good, again from Harry Potter. And I got some other pulls too. Let me dump these out. I got a lot. My husband's a big fan of Game of Thrones, so I got this Winter is Coming pull right here. I got a cassette tape pull, this really cool decorative key pull, and then that unicorn that I showed you before, as well as a dragon. So there's tons of different designs, great for adults or kids. Again, the link is in the description. Let me get this out of the way. One more notion that I wanted to show you quickly in this side view. I've shown it before on the live shows, but I was teaching at a retreat on Friday, and one of the attendees asked about this seam wacker that I showed previously. And we have them up in our shop. We just got them per her request. And so what I use this for is I use this to flatten a seam either while I'm constructing the bag or in preparation for top stitching. So you can certainly grade the seam first or trim the interfacing back from the seam, but this metal wacker has sort of a hard silicone tip over here, and it's great just to give the seam a few whacks, and it doesn't necessarily break down the fabric or anything like that, but it makes it really nice and flat in preparation for the top stitching. So again, this is the seam wacker. There's similar products that you can find at the hardware store, like a rubber mallet, but this is just sort of a smaller option for the sewing room. All right, so on this Tuesday, I hope you'll join us for the live show Ask Sarah at 7 p.m. Central Time on Tuesday. I'll be showing how to make this really quick 10-minute project from your Cork Club or smaller scraps. So this little zipper pouch just takes one 9" by 7" piece of cork. There's only one pattern piece, so you just cut out one piece from the cork. You need a zipper, and it's a quick 10-minute project because cork can be left raw. The raw edges are just left as cut. And because cork has a cotton polyester backing, this is unlined, but it still looks like a nice finished project. And I've seen in the Facebook group in the past moms making little zipper pouches for goodie bags for kids coming to their children's birthday party, and that seems like a a big job to take on and a lot of work, but these pouches are quick 10-minute projects and they'd be great to stuff with little goodies. And I made one with one of our newer Cork fabrics. This is pineapple. And I also, just for kicks, I made one out of glitter vinyl. This is the fuchsia glitter vinyl with a matching pink zipper. And again, a really quick project to make and also fun to try your hand at sewing with cork or vinyl. So I'll be showing this video tutorial on the live show this Tuesday, and that's at 7 p.m. Central Time. Okay, so I wanted to ask, and this is the last live show during the month of April, but I proposed this challenge during the month of April, and we wanted to hit at least 100 shares. If you're watching on Facebook, I hope you'll hit the share button right now and share this sewing video with all of your friends on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, I hope you'll hit the like button, which is the thumbs up icon. Our goal for the month of April was to hit at least 500 likes on YouTube. And if we can hit our goals for each live video during the month of April, and this is the last one for April, we'll be sharing a brand new pattern and video tutorial for a great bag in 2 different sizes for free. So help us hit our goals for this last live show in April, and thank you so much for doing that. Okay, the fabric that's added to my stash this time is designed by Heather Ross, and Heather is a great illustrator. You might have purchased some of her pajamas from Target, and she's got some great designs, and her new fabric line is called Kinder. It's a great kid-friendly line, so I wanted to show you. This would be great for teacher projects or projects, little pouches for kids. So I'm just gonna pop over to the side view and show you some of the prints in the line. So great colors, really cute prints. I love the alphabet fabrics the most. And then I'm just gonna flip through some more of these. They're just so adorable. They'd be great for a quilt or just little projects. Isn't that adorable? She has the cutest illustrations, especially of children. And great cute colors, kind of primary colors, but with a little bit of twists. And I love these aquas as well. So isn't that cute? Just really adorable classroom type prints. And some great coordinates. I love this pop of sort of emerald green. And I could definitely see a lot of the minikins being made in some of these fabrics, especially for end of the year gifts. Like something with these apples. Oops. Okay, so let me flip to the rest of these. Sort of repetition of some of the prints, but in different colors. And this fabric line just recently came out. If you're interested in it, or if you would like to see some of the fabrics in more detail, the link is in the description, and that'll take you to Hawthorne Threads. So I've got 4 more prints to show you. My favorite color is green, so I think this is probably my favorite print from the line. Maybe I'd pair it with this apples for the lining. Okay, and again, this is the Kinder fabric line from Heather Ross. Okay, so this past Friday, actually Thursday evening through Friday, I was in Madison, Wisconsin teaching at the Modern Stitching Affair retreat. Danny's going to put a few photos up on the screen from the retreat. My teaching assistant was Natalie from So Hungry Hippie. There's Natalie in that photo holding her new bag pattern, so check her out if you're interested. Danny, can we flip through the photos one more time after they're done?
No.
No. There's some photos from the retreat. There were 45 attendees, so that's why I had a teaching assistant. Normally I don't. There's Natalie again. So Hungry Hippie is her website if you want to see more from her. Trina Peterson made this finished train case at the retreat. She used a bit of cork for the handle and just really cute. I think that's cotton and steel fabrics for the outside of her train case. There's everyone at the retreat. Some had finished cases at the end of class and some were still in progress, so everyone joined us for the photo, and then there's that photo from everyone while they were working on their project. So it was great fun. I really enjoyed being there, and the organizer, Wendy, did a great job putting everything together. So that was this past week, me teaching the Crimson and Clover train case in Madison, Wisconsin. So I have a question for you. Let me know in the comments. Have you ever attended a retreat? Maybe with a quilt guild or a sewing group? Have you ever gone somewhere just to sew, or maybe you just found a buddy and the two of you went somewhere just to do some sewing. So let me know in the comments if you've ever done something like that. All right, so my book review for this week is for the book called Color Essentials by Amanda Murphy. I actually know Amanda and I've seen her a few times in person, and she is a jack of all trades, but not just a jack of all trades, she does them all really well. She's a long armer, she does machine embroidery, applique, traditional quilt piecing. She's phenomenal. She's also a fabric designer. I don't know how she has time in the day to get all of that done, but I've had this book of hers, Color Essentials. She has several books out for a few years, but this is my favorite and one of my favorite quilt books because I'm such a big fan of solids. So I'm going to pop over to the side and show you Amanda Murphy's book called Color Essentials. And Amanda used Kona solids for all of the quilts in the book. All right, so let me pop through. Like I said, this is traditional piecing as well as a little bit of applique and a great run through of some of the different color choices as far as choosing solids and which colors go together really well. So let me show you some of the projects in the book. I have one definitive favorite, and there's another one that when I was looking through the book earlier, I thought that would make a great Christmas tree skirt, even though it's really not meant to be one. So starting off with a few smaller projects, these pillows with just some simple squares. Okay, a table runner. So you're basically dipping your toes in and then working your way up. I really love that runner too, especially the black and white one. Placemats as the projects get a little bit larger, and I love the play with color, obviously with the weave of different lights and darks and medium colors, so those placemats are really cute as well. And then on to some of the quilts. This quilt has some traditional small squares and then a bit of curves with the drunkard's path. And very detailed instructions. Amanda always has some great instructions to go with her quilt patterns. And I featured some of her quilt patterns on the show in the past. I don't know if you've been around. I think I showed a few patterns of hers, some of her applique patterns last year. I love Lollipop. I love the Dresden plate type design. And let's see, we're getting closer to my favorite quilt in the book. Not this one. But they're all lovely, and I just love the color choices. And I love the suggestion of the different color possibilities for your other Kona solids. This is the project that I thought would make a great tree skirt because it's got that shape. It's a almost 70-inch quilt, but I can see making a hole in the middle for the tree skirt. And I love the rainbow colors also. Okay, so Confetti is my favorite quilt in the book. I love the idea of not having straight edges for all four edges for the binding. I love the idea of that type of binding. I love the color choices, the little triangles combined with the big ones. I just super love this quilt, and every time I see it, maybe I can make a smaller version. It's just so hard getting to selfish sewing projects for me these days, but maybe I could make a smaller version and that'll suffice for now. Here's a little bit of applique. All right, and all the templates are in the book. I really love this book. I've had it for, like I said, probably 4 or 5 years, but that was Color Essentials by Amanda Murphy. And just great quilting and small project choices available in that book. So Danny's favorite part of the show, let me know if you're a bag lady or bag dude. Tell us in the comments and be proud about it. I know I certainly am a huge bag lady, and it's great that we formed this community around bag making and sewing, and the community continues on in the Facebook group. If you're not already part of the Facebook group, the link's in the description. I hope you'll join us there. Everyone shares their Sew Sweetness projects, photographs, asks questions about the projects, and it's just a really fun group to be a part of. So if you're not already, I hope you'll join us over in the Facebook group. Okay, so my demo for tonight is how to install a twist lock. I have this bag right here. I made it in Cork. It's not finished yet, but it's got a twist lock on the flap. So I just wanted to do a demo because I had an email from Diane Obernesser this past week, a few days ago, asking for a video on how to install a twist lock. So I do read and respond to all the emails, any emails from people asking for demonstrations of certain techniques. I save them in a folder and I get to them. Obviously, I can only do about one demo a week, but I am listening, and so I hope you'll enjoy this demo tonight for how to install a twist lock. So twist locks come in different designs, different sizes. Here's the packet that I will be using for tonight's demo. Often they're just a round metal portion with the locking piece, which has prongs on it. So let me show you what the pieces look like outside of the package. So I left part of the twist lock in the package because I didn't want to lose these really tiny screws. But half of the twist lock has prongs in it, and this is the locking piece that you would open and close to open and shut the twist lock. And the prongs are installed through the fabric and using this washer, and the other half of the twist lock is usually on the front of a flap, and it's got two pieces. Some twist locks admittedly do come with prongs on this piece, but I like the kind that come with screws. So the smooth flat piece is the piece that would be on the right side of the bag facing outward, and this second piece over here with the two little holes on the side is where the screws go, and that'll be on the wrong side of the flap. So let me show you what other tools you'll need for doing that. So I like using Beacon 3-in-1 fabric glue. You can also use another fabric glue. Fabric tack is another option. You'll need a Phillips screwdriver with the head just big enough to fit into those screws. Got my scissors, a marking pen, and a seam ripper for good measure. So let's get started with the easier portion, the part with the prongs. So I've already prepared a piece of fabric that will be the front of the bag. I've attached it to interfacing already, so I've got foam interfacing on my fabric. And I always like to reinforce this locking piece since it's a little bit heavier. Even though it does have prongs, it's a bit heavier than say a magnetic snap, which also has prongs. And so let me cut this open for the washer, but I'm going to use a little bit of extra interfacing to reinforce this piece. Okay, so I've chosen to use a little bit of Pellon Peltex interfacing, which is a stiff interfacing, and then a piece of Shape Flex. And I'll show you how I install this in the bag. So if you're working from a bag pattern that has a magnetic snap and you'd like to swap it for a twist lock, you can go ahead and use the same measurements in general for placement of where the prongs will go. So I'm just marking on the inside of this one prong and then the outside of the other so that it's even. I'm going to use my seam ripper to make two slits where the prongs will go, and I'm going to follow up the slits that I made with a seam sealant. You can use Fray Check or Fray Block, or something similar to that. And the seam sealant just kind of reinforces the fabric and prevents it from fraying. And you always want to start with a smaller slit because you can always make your slits bigger, but if you accidentally make your slit too big, then you're kind of stuck. Okay, so I'm going to dab a little bit of seam sealant on there. And then this locking piece is going to go through the right side of the fabric, just like that. I'm also going to mark the prong placement on the piece of Peltex and make the slits through that as well. And again, that Peltex is just a bit of extra reinforcement because that locking piece can get heavy on the front of the bag. You don't want it to rip out. Okay. Okay, so I didn't make this slit big enough, so I'm just going to go back and make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so the prong's going to go through that right side of the fabric. I'm going to follow up on the wrong side with that piece of Peltex that I already cut the slits through. And then lastly, the washer. Okay, so I'm going to open the prongs towards each other. You can do it either way, either outward or in. Normally I like to, actually I'm going to have to open this out against the side of the table to get it to shut. You can use snap pliers as well. Okay, so once you've gotten those prongs flattened, I like to use a scrap of Pellon Shape Flex with the fusible side against the locking piece and fuse that in place just to make sure everything is super secure. And this is what it looks like from the right side of the fabric. So let me put this to the side and let me show you how to install the other half of the twist lock. So this piece right here. So I've already prepared my fabric. I've got my flap fabric attached to Shape Flex interfacing. I sewed the fabrics right sides together and then I top stitched. I also, if I could show you the wrong side, on the inside I attached a little bit of extra Shape Flex interfacing, this circle right here, for some extra reinforcement. And the twist lock is going to be cut through all layers of fabric. So again, you're going to use the placement in the pattern for where your twist lock or magnetic snap should be. I'm going to take this piece from the twist lock and I'm going to mark the inner circle as well as the two tiny circles on the sides. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I'm going to connect the circles with kind of a inward facing V, kind of like that. So I'm going to cut through both layers of fabric. I'm going to cut this big circle in the middle as well as cutting toward those two little dots on the side. And again, use that seam ripper to get an opening started, and I can use my scissors the rest of the time. So again, the twist locks come in some fun shapes. I have a few that look kind of like lock and key, which are really cute. Okay. All right, so I'm going to cut this out. And after you cut that opening out, just make sure you take the twist lock piece and lay it over and see if you have any fabric peeking out. So I've got a little bit of extra fabric showing, as you can see from here. There's a little bit of extra fabric on the top. So I'm just going to go ahead and shave some more fabric on that top edge so I don't have any fabric showing on the completed twist lock installation. Okay, so I'm going to treat this fabric, even though it's the same fabric on both sides, I'm going to treat this fabric as the wrong side of the fabric and this side as the right side. Okay, so I'm going to lay this piece, this is the right side of the fabric, I'm going to lay this piece right on top of the opening, and you want to make sure that you have enough fabric cut out so you can get the screws neatly inside. Sometimes if you don't cut enough fabric back, the screws are really difficult to connect with the piece. Okay, so I'm going to lay the piece down just to test it out. When you're confident you have the twist lock piece how you like it and you can see the opening for the screws, just go ahead and dab a little bit of the glue on the wrong side of the locking piece. So the glue does two things. It keeps the locking twist lock piece permanently in place, and it also prevents any of the fabric, since you cut an opening, it prevents that fabric from fraying and showing on the sides of the twist lock. Okay, so I'm going to gently lay that down. I'm going to apply some glue to the wrong side of this piece as well, and then it's time to get the screws out. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of glue to this piece. And some people also like to put some glue in with their screws. That's up to you. Okay, I'm going to lay the screw in there and take my Phillips screwdriver and screw that in place. Okay, and then do the same thing with the other one. Okay, so when your piece is installed, the front and the back, it'll look like this. So this piece I installed a couple weeks ago, and you just turn that locking piece in the middle, and this is what the piece with the prongs looks like. And that's what it looks like from the wrong side of the fabric. See, there's those two screws. Okay, so that's how to install a twist lock with a little bit of practice and some confidence as far as cutting through that flat piece. You'll be a pro at installing twist locks in your bags. Okay, so I want to know, let me know in the comments, have you ever installed a twist lock into a bag or a pouch before? Let me know yes or no. Okay, so now it's time for the giveaway. Last week's giveaway winner was Colleen Holt, and I've already heard back from Colleen. So Colleen, I'll be getting the prize off to you soon. Congratulations. Before we get on to this week's giveaway, I'd like to take a few questions live. I'll take as many questions as I can, and I'm sorry if we don't get to your question, but every Tuesday on my show, Ask Sarah, we answer a lot of live questions, and my husband, Danny, joins me on the show as well. Carla wants to know, what is the glue that you are using for the twist lock? So there's a few options for fabric glue. I'm using the Beacon 3-in-1. You can use fabric tack is another option that's widely available. You want a good fabric glue that isn't too runny. So the reason I like this fabric glue is it's a little bit thicker. I've used some other fabric glues in the past. I think UHU is another one, and I found that glue was just a little bit too runny. It's really hard, especially when you're gluing hardware in. If the glue's runny, it tends to get all over your project, but I like this one because it's a little bit thicker. Okay, Danny's going to put a few more questions on the screen. All right, so again, make sure you join us this Tuesday. I'll be showing how to sew this little 10-minute Cork Club projects for this zipper pouch. We'll be showing the video live as well as posting it after the live show is over. Doreen wants to know, is there a video for the Camp Stitch-A-Lot bag? We don't have a video for that one yet, but it's definitely on my list for our August 4-pack video bundle, so we'll have that video sometime in August, as well as 3 more new videos. Jill wants to know, are you planning a camera neck or crossbody strap in the near future, please? Camera neck, do you mean like a padded camera strap? Let me know, or you can email me more specific details about that, but we're always happy to add different strap combinations to our video arsenal. Little Robin Cottage wants to know, where's the best place to purchase purse locks? So there's a link in the description for the twist locks to Emmeline Bags. She's got lots of different designs, lots of different metal finishes, and that's where I bought my twist locks from, Emmeline Bags, and this is one of the packages that I got, Emmeline Bags. Chantel wants to know, when is your Instagram live show, please? So 2 weeks ago we started doing a live show on Instagram. It's every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Central Time, and we've really enjoyed having guests drop into the live show, so we can, on Instagram Live, we can actually split a screen with a fan, and that's fun. So the first week we had Bronwyn, and then we had Michelle and her son on last Tuesday. So I'm looking forward to the show again on this Tuesday, and my husband Danny joins me on both of the live shows on Tuesday on Instagram and later at 7 o'clock on YouTube and Facebook. Lisa wants to know, what basic hardware would you suggest to always keep in stock? So I always use magnetic snaps, always need to have those on hand. And I also like having metal rectangles and sliders. So rectangles I like 2 different sizes. For a smaller bag, I like 1-inch rectangles and sliders, and for a bigger bag, 1.5-inch rectangles and sliders. Those are, I think, the 3 items that I use most of all. Rivets are optional, but I like rivets for a little bit of extra bling to them, but definitely the rectangles, sliders, and the magnetic snaps. Judy wants to know, when does the next bundle pack go on sale? Our next 4-pack video bundle will be at the beginning of May. I'm shooting for, I don't want to say yet, sometime in the first week in May. We only have 1 more video to shoot for it. All the rest we have ready to go. So that'll be really soon, and we'll announce it for sure on the live shows and in the newsletter and on social media. Kathy wants to know, have you ever sewn with the PUL fabric before? I have. I've used it for a changing pad, and I've also used it for the inside of lunch boxes. The PUL fabric is water resistant, so you can wipe it down with a damp cloth, and also it's commonly used in making cloth diaper supplies. Both of my kids used cloth diapers, and I'm really familiar with that type of fabric, and it's great for the inside of lunch bags for sure. Terry wants to know, if the flap and body were made out of cork, would you interface with the same materials and extra stabilizers under the lock? That's a great question. So this bag that I did not finish yet, but this one's made of cork. and the lining is quilting cotton. So I used Shape Flex on the lining, and I did still use the foam in the flap, although you don't have to. I've made bags before, like my Cumberland backpack. There's a little flap with a twist lock, and I used Shape Flex for both the lining and the exterior. So you can use a thinner interfacing and the locking piece will still work. I would suggest using foam interfacing or a fleece for the body of the bag, especially because that piece with the washer, like I said, it tends to get a little bit heavier, so it does need a little bit of extra reinforcement. But for the flap, you certainly could use Shape Flex for both the exterior and the lining. Bonnie wants to know, I'm sorry if you already said this, but what pattern was the red bag? It's so cute. Are we going to say yet about the crossbody bag, or is it okay if I say? I didn't finish it yet, so I feel bad saying what bag it is, but
That's not the satellite bag?
No.
I'm just kidding.
This was a bag I was planning for a video in 2 different sizes. It's, even though it looks 3-dimensional, it's just the front and the back, and I use darts to make the shape of the bag, so it's just got the darts on the front. I admit Danny's not crazy about darts in bags, so he wasn't excited about this one, but I really liked it because it was really quick to come together, and I really liked the twist lock on the flap. So anyway, I like it. Boriana wants to know, are you going to release a new Cork membership soon? I tried to enroll, but you are sold out. Yeah, I'm so sorry. We're not currently taking new members for Cork Club. We're just trying to keep on track with the members that we do already have, and we didn't want to be shipping things out late, so that's why we decided to cut off memberships. We will be opening them up sometime in the future. I don't know when, so sorry about that, but of course we'll always send updates through on the live shows and through social media. Donna wants to know, do we know the challenge bag for May? Danny was just talking to me about that before the live show started, and I hadn't decided, but now that I'm thinking about it, I think possibly, yeah, I think we'll just have it be the grab and go sleeve, which is, I've got a couple behind me. I'm mic'd up, but I think I can probably grab them. So I've got 2 of them behind me back here. The grab and go sleeve is one of the minikins. It'll be the challenge for May, as I've so decided. But you use the measurements of your device to make the project. So the project is basically a perfect fit. I admit I made this was my first prototype one, but I made it for a book because I don't have a laptop. But after I made the first one, I borrowed my mom's laptop, and I made this bigger one, and this is Tula Pink All Stars fabric. And as you can see, the laptop's in there. It comes together really quick and I feel like easily. And it's really nice for, I've seen some people make them for smaller devices as well, like Kindles and iPads, but if you're a dork like me, you can make one for a book as well. Jan wants to know, what do men know about bags? Laugh out loud, I love the darts. Thank you for that. Yeah, I was so proud when I mean, it's not done yet, but when I almost finished this bag, and I was like, oh, look how clever I am. I used darts, and it's 3-dimensional, and I didn't use a lot of fabric, and I could tell by the look on Danny's face, he was just not thrilled with my design, but I was happy with it. Jennifer says, I love the darts, very sharp. Thank you. All right, Danny, maybe 2 more questions, and then we'll take more questions on Tuesday. Marcia says, what is the gray pad you demo on, please? Looks useful in my sewing room. Yeah, I get a lot of questions about this mat. Let me put these to the side so they're not taking up all this space. This is a wool mat. It's, I think, a little bit thicker than a 1/2 inch, and it's by Woolly Felted Wonders. The mat that I have is 17.5 inches square, but they have, I think, 2 or 3 other sizes. I think there's an 8.5 inch square mat, and there's also one that's 17.5 inches like mine, but longer, I think 24 inches. But I really love this. It's great for pressing. It's really flexible, so if I move it around my sewing room, it's really easy to move around. And I think because it's wool, it sort of heats up the project faster than my regular ironing board, sorry. And it's nice also because I can keep it next to my sewing machine, especially if I'm working on small quilt blocks instead of getting up and down every time to iron. I can just have my regular iron on this wool mat. Again, it's from Woolly Felted Wonders. That's the company that makes that mat. All right, last question, Danny. One more?
Sure.
Okay. One more question, and then we're going to get away to the giveaway. I almost forgot about the giveaway. I've been forgetting about the giveaway lately, so sorry about that. Any more, or should I just get to the giveaway?
Comments. You should go to the giveaway.
Okay, Danny says I should just go to the giveaway. So if you have any other questions, as always, we do a lot of questions live on the Tuesday show at 7 p.m. Central Time. Okay.
And the pre-sew.
And the pre-sew. Okay, so the giveaway for today, the giveaway question, let me know in the comments. One random winner will be chosen from all of those that answer this question. I forgot what my question was. When you go on vacation, do you bring your sewing machine or do you bring any hand sewing with you? Just let me know your answer in the comments. So the prize for this week is a swag bag that I brought back from Modern Stitching Affair, which was the retreat that I taught at on Friday. So it's a great bag with lots of goodies inside. Danny, can I show them on the side view what all the goodies are that are coming in the bag?
Yeah. Can we put it in position?
Yep. All right, so we've got a huge vinyl pouch, which is great for taking your hand stitching with you. There's a bunch of patterns, including some Sew Sweetness ones. That's a pattern by my friend Annie from By Annie, and By Annie is who makes Soft and Stable. There's a great jelly roll of solids from Riley Blake, and this would be great for that Color Essentials book that I showed from Amanda Murphy earlier. A great handmade soap, some goodies from Fiskars as far as cutting, zippers, so lots of stuff, great stuff in this bag. And all you have to do to enter to win is let me know when you go on vacation, do you bring your sewing machine or do you bring your hand sewing? All right, so that was it for this week's episode of Sewcial Sunday. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you again next Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Time, and happy sewing.